Comrade, I trained Russian commandos to do splits in 6 months or less. Now that I've turned into a running capitalist dog, I'm gonna teach you too. When I'm done with you, you shall have the flexibility of a mutant. Or else. Comrade, the Cossack stretch works various muscles in the hip from different planes. It's a great stretch to start your workout with. Get yourself in this position or as close to it as you can get. If your knees are bothered by the stretch, don't do it. Throughout the stretch, make sure that your knees and your feet track in the same direction, so your knee does not bow in. In this position, tighten up, use your hands barely for balance, release. Not how your body sags down. Tighten up. Release. Carefully shift over to the other side. Pivot. Note how your knees and your feet follow each other. Tighten up. Push your heel through the floor. Release. Turn your feet somewhat. This way. Tighten up. Push the right heel into the floor. Release. Turn this way. Tighten up. Release. Shift again. Tighten up. Release. Tighten. Release. Work many planes. Note how this knee is locked. Comrade, to stretch out your IT band, right here, on the outside of your hip, assume this position. Keep that knee locked, keep this knee bent, and always tracking your toes. Get down like this, you're trying to screw yourself into the floor. And keep as much weight away from the chair as possible. Try to put your weight right here, on your butt. Tighten up by pushing that foot into the floor. Release. Tighten. Release. Tighten, release, tighten, release, until you're down on the floor in this friendly position. Comrade, here's an advanced stretch for your quad and your hip flexor. Observe. Keep yourself totally squared up and keep your weight on the back leg. Enjoy. Comrade, here's how you can soup up the floor hip flexor stretch. You grab your ankle. You may hold on to something for balance and make sure to pad your knee. Tighten up, push against your hand, tighten your butt, drive your knee forward into the floor, release. Tighten, release. Tighten, release. Keep your chest open. You may slide forward slightly, slide your knee or slide your foot. In all hip flexor and quad stretches, it's essential that you keep your hips squared off and don't wrench your knees. You also must keep your weight on the back leg. It helps if you contract your butt and abs and stay upright. Observe. Have a jolly time. Comrade, if your hip flexors are flexible enough to try this, the lizard stretch is a real goodie for your hips. Make sure that you keep your weight on your heel. Your shin is close to vertical. You press through your heel by contracting your butt. And you use this hand to prevent yourself from keeling over. Observe. Comrade, here's another powerful stretch for your glute and for your side. Observe. As you can see, the weight stays on your heel and your shin is vertical. Don't let the knee move this way. This leg starts out straight. Later on, that knee will bend. But make a point of keeping the weight on this side. One more time. Push your heel into the chair. Squeeze your butt. Enjoy. The proper alignment for the front split is that same one is for the hip flexor stretch. That is, your hips are squared off and the knee is facing down. Your body is upright. Most of the time, people lean forward because they're not flexible enough through here, and they roll their leg like this because their knee is hurting. That's why it's a good idea to use some sort of padding for your knee when you're beginning front splits. Regarding leaning forward, it's good to use some sort of support, like chairs, for spotting, so you can remain upright. Place your weight on your hands on the chairs, and lift yourself up slightly, and push the walls apart. Think of opening up your chest. Think of pulling your hips out of the sockets. For a few extra rubles, that can be arranged. Shift your weight back, keep your hips squared, hands barely touching now. Tighten up. How do you tighten up? Like you're trying to pinch the floor. Simply squeezing your butt. That should be good enough. You hold the tension for a while, then you release. When you're released, rest your weight in your hands again and push the walls apart. Shift your weight back, tighten up. Hold the tension. Once you're low enough so you can spot yourself against the floor without leaning forward, you may lose the chairs. The sequence is the same. Tense up, stay squared off, hold it. The hands are just to catch yourself in case of trouble. Release. Tense up. For some sports and activities, for example karate, one needs flexibility in the ankle and the position when the knee is bent. Here's how to develop it. If you're trying to stretch your right ankle, keep your weight on it. Keep your foot flat and bring your knee down. All your weight is right here. You will find that your thigh will get tired. That's your problem. While keeping your weight right here, tighten up the muscles in your calf, as if you're trying to go up on your tippy toe. Tighten up, hold the tension, release. As you release, your knee will sink lower. Tighten up, hold the tension for a while. You may have to hold it for a long time. Calves have a lot of endurance. Release. Your knee will sink deeper. Tighten up, deeper. Tighten up, deeper. Have a good time. Comrade, if you're fairly flexible in the groin, for example, you're almost falling on your face in the groin stretch I demonstrated in my relaxed into stretch video, you could try this goodie, the roadkill split. What you need to do is place your weight on your elbows, lock your knees, and push the walls apart. Your elbows are supporting you, but not too much. Most of them are there for spotting. Tighten up, keep your knees locked, pinch the floor, hold it for a while, release. Tighten up, hold it. The groin is a difficult muscle. You may have to hold for a long time. Release. Shift your weight to your elbows, push the walls apart with your heels. Shift your weight back to your legs, tighten up. Release. Shift your weight back and forth, just like this. Tighten up. Release. Make sure you use some surface where you can slide. Tighten. Release. Tighten. Release. Are we having fun yet? Once you get down all the way in the roadkill split, you may elevate your feet to go down a little deeper. You see, comrade, our legs are Y-shaped. That means that the first thing that's going to hit the floor is your knees, not your hips. So if you want to go deeper, elevate your feet. Phone books are not a great choice. Better use something of similar size, but something that would not fall apart. You are encouraged to hold the tension for a long time. Everything else is performed the same. Scream your heart out. Comrade, when you're just starting out with the windmill stretch, it's a good idea to use a chair for safety. Have fun. Comrade, the following stretch, extreme stretch, is excellent for your side, for your hip, for your piriformis. Do not confuse it with Trikonasana from yoga. This exercise is based on the old-fashioned strength exercise, the bent press. Observe. Stand like this with this knee locked and your feet arranged in this manner. This one almost straight ahead, this one almost out to the side. This knee may be bent. Kick your hip over to the side, just like this, and shift all your weight right here. It's the same thing that you used to do for the good morning stretch, except to the side. Get your arm overhead, kick your hip over, and look at your hand. Then squeeze your butt and start getting down. Release. Keep your chest open. Release. You may have to hold the tension longer. left foot may remain bent as long as you don't shift your weight this way. Squeeze your butt and get back up in the same path when you're done. For the advanced variation of the windmill stretch, hold the weight overhead and keep your other hand behind your back for a great chest opening effect. Comrade, where in the windmill stretch, you kept your weight on the back leg and kicked this hip over. In this stretch, which is the modified yoga reverse triangle, you keep this knee locked and you fold over this way. Observe. Make sure to get back in the exact same path. This stretch is awesome for the outside of your hip and for your back. Once you work your way down into the full roadkill split, you're ready to tackle this side split. The difference between this side split and the roadkill split is that you need to get your hips forward, aligned with your feet. Most comrades cannot do this type of split not because their groin is too tight, but because their hip flexors are too tight, and they just cannot get their hips forward far enough in line with their feet. So in order to get down there, make sure that you practice your hip flexor stretches together with your roadkill splits. Then try the Russian split. Comrade, the forced relaxation program follows the same schedule as the relax into stretch. That is, 3 times a week, 3 sets per stretch, plus minus a couple. Adjust it to your own needs. If you experience a plateau, you have a few options. One option is to focus on building strength. To build strength, hold the tension for a longer period of time without trying to advance further into stretch. For example, a couple of tensions that are as long as 30 or 60 seconds long should do the job. Another option is to take a couple of weeks off and not stretch altogether, and then ease yourself back into stretching. Welcome to the ranks of mutants. You've been Pavel.